An Atlanta City Councilman who voted to defund the police is actually carjacked in broad daylight as urban crime skyrockets. In this video, we're going to take a look at the latest embarrassment for the defund the police movement. Why crime waves across the nation have caused city halls to abandon this absurd left-wing fad, and why this all may result in nothing less than the abolishing of the Democrat Party itself. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve Ruth. Great to be with you as always. We are your daily antidote to fake news. As each and every day, we analyze current events in light of larger conservative trends in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Let's start with our video chat question of the day, shall we? Do you believe defund the police may be the Democrats' downfall? Let us know in the comments section below. Do you believe that the defund the police movement will end up destroying the Democrats at the polls? Let us know what you think, because, you know, we're going to take a look at one liberal leader who is openly warning just that. We're going to look to see how Democrat politicians themselves are running away as fast as they can from this one central BLM slogan. But first, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's the Backup Solar Bank. In the midst of this whole emergency situation we found ourselves in, one of the best things you can invest in for your protection when the lights go out is what's called a solar power bank. It's a backup power bank that's powered, you guessed it, by the sun. It allows you to charge up to 2 devices at once. You'll never have to waste money on batteries again. Now, supply is limited, and this is your very last chance to get yours at a 20% discount before they sell out. So don't wait. Click on that link below right now and give you and your family a gift of power anywhere in the world. Click on that link below, or go visit backupsolarbank.com. That is backupsolarbank.com. All right, gang, let's dive right in. If this doesn't awaken your inner Schadenfreude, I don't know what will. An Atlanta City Councilman who voted to defund the police had his car stolen from him in broad daylight the other day, which actually ended up dragging him a full city block. Councilman Antonio Brown, who's actually running for the mayor's office in Atlanta, he exited his Mercedes-Benz in downtown Atlanta. Yes, his Mercedes-Benz. This is what we call a champagne socialist. He exited his car to speak with a community leader when all of a sudden 3 youths, or youths in my cousin Vinny parlance, 3 kids that Brown estimates to be between the ages of 6 and 12 began trying to break into his car right in front of him. His Mercedes-Benz has a keyless push-to-start ignition, which the kid in the driver's seat figured out pretty quickly. Councilman Brown said that he ran over and he began to fight with the kid in the driver's seat, and that's when the kid hit the gas and started to drag the councilman for about a block before he let go of the door and the car sped away. It has not yet been recovered. And you're going to absolutely love this. This councilman, okay, Antonio Brown, this councilman who last year voted to withhold $73 million from the Atlanta Police Department, he actually had the gall to complain that when he called 911, he had to wait 5 minutes before he got a dispatcher. And then, to pour salt on the wound, it took 45 minutes before police arrived at the scene. He complained about that. This guy, this ultra-leftist cultural Marxist who voted to strip the Atlanta Police Department of over $70 million is besides himself when he has to wait 5 minutes after dialing 911 and 45 minutes for the police to respond. And then, to top it all off, when asked if he was going to press charges on the youths, this far-left councilman said that he was not going to be filing charges because, he said, the kids who stole his car acted out of hopelessness and desperation. Quote, "This is a generational poverty issue." That's Marxism, by the way. "These kids, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. Why aren't they in school? Why aren't we enforcing systems to ensure that if they are not in school, they're in recreational centers?" I mean, this comment be bordering on absurdity if Atlanta's schools are still closed because of the teachers' unions. I think the upper schools are still closed. But regardless, this is just ridiculous Marxist banter. Marxism replaces sin, individual sin, with social inequities. Social inequities are now the new sin in Marxist conception of society. So you're not guilty of the crimes you commit. No, you're not. Society is. Society is guilty. Which, if you think it through, is absurd, since that would mean that if you commit a crime, then shouldn't we be locking up your neighbors? Right? criminal act is not the criminal's fault, but society's fault, then shouldn't we be arresting the criminal's neighbors? Now, obviously, this story is a delicious case of what we might call ironic justice. The city councilman, who's a radical BLM activist, he's a radical supporter of defund the police, and has in fact voted to defund them of that, $73 million. He's just getting what many would consider his just desserts, is he not? This is what happens when you defund the police. And the whole world, for the exception of these radical cultural Marxists, the whole world knows it and they all see it. You'll definitely want to check out a video I just uploaded on an article published by former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, who warned his fellow liberals that woke leftists, these cultural Marxist leftists, are actually in danger of destroying the entire political left. He actually used the word extinct. The political left is going to go extinct if they continue to allow these BLM woke activists to define their party. And he actually said that the defund the police slogan is about the most unpopular slogan of the left since the dictatorship of the proletariat, which comes straight from Karl Marx. So even liberals are admitting that this whole defund the police is an abject and total loser at the ballot box. And it's because everyone can see how ridiculous it is. If you don't know, the city of Atlanta, all right, this city that this councilman Antonio Brown actually wants to govern as mayor, the city of Atlanta has been going through a horrific crime wave. Shootings are up 51% from this time last year. Homicides are up 60%. And keep in mind, last year was a horrific year. Look at this. Look at it. 2020 was the deadliest year in decades in Atlanta. And already this year, the year of bumbling Biden, already Atlanta is seeing a 60% increase from their deadliest year in decades. And it's not just Atlanta. Cities all across the nation are experiencing an utter epidemic of violent crime, which means, in effect, that this councilman's dream of defunding the police is dead. Look at this headline from the Wall Street Journal. It just came out today. Cities reverse defunding the police amid rising crime. And the piece starts saying it bluntly, quote, 1 year after the movement to defund law enforcement began to upend municipal budgets, many American cities are restoring money to their police departments or proposing to spend more. In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio said he would reinstate $92 million for a new precinct after scrapping the project last summer. The mayor of Baltimore, who led efforts as a city councilman to cut the police budget by $22 million last year, recently proposed a $27 million increase. And we can keep going and going, but I have an absolute favorite in all of this left-wing nonsense. But first, I want to personally invite you to our brand new Patriot Entrepreneur Live event that we're holding on June 4th and 5th. It is a virtual conference for anyone interested in learning how to break free from your woke work environment, become financially independent. The beauty is because it's a virtual conference, you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own sofa. And you can secure your seat simply by clicking on the link below. And for this week only, we've got a special giveaway for you. Anyone who purchases a gold or platinum ticket will be entered into a drawing for a one-on-one video call with yours truly, or should I say yours Turley? That's right. Click on that link below right now and get entered into a drawing for a video call with me, your humble host. This offer ends this Friday night at midnight when ticket prices go up 20%. So don't wait. Click on that link below right now and I'll see you for a weekend that promises to be a game changer for your life like never before. All right, gang, my all-time favorite example of all this left-wing public foolishness is what happened in Minneapolis, where all this defund the police nonsense started with the George Floyd stuff. If you recall, the ultra-left Minneapolis City Council voted unanimously last year to disband the Minneapolis Police Department and replace it with some kind of nebulous community model. I mean, they never precisely explained what such a community model would be, but it didn't matter. Crime skyrocketed throughout Minneapolis, and things were so bad in this Democrat-run monopoly. Things were so bad, you actually had the Minneapolis Police Department officially announce that the citizens of Minneapolis actually ought to expect to get mugged and robbed. Right? Law and order had so broken down in Minneapolis that the police chief is saying you should expect to become a crime victim. And so with egg all over their faces, the Minneapolis City Council, which originally voted unanimously to defund the city police department, had to turn around and unanimously approve over $6 million in additional funding for the police after a massive backlash against the defund the police efforts. After month after month after month of rising crime rates, the very ultra-left Marxist City Council that initially voted to completely defund the police department did an about-face and voted to give the police $6 million more than the police department requested. Now, of course, this should have been on front page headline in every single news outlet. This is a humiliating admission of political defeat, of the ridiculousness of the whole defund the police insanity. But of course, not a word, not a whimper. And that's because we know that the mainstream Marxist media actually promoted and defended this utter and complete nonsense. They're not journalists, they're activists. They are left-wing activists, not. And so it does appear that the defund the police movement is dead. It may not be dead in the Democrat Party, but it's certainly dead in the hearts and minds and political sentiments of the super majority of American voters. And so all that's left to do now is to express that disdain for such a stupid and ridiculous idea at the ballot box. And then we may finally defund and abolish the real problem in our nation, and that is none other than the Democrat Party itself. Now, before we go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it. It's on the colossal fall of Don Lemon as the CNN host has lost an astonishing 77% of his audience. We look at the utterly catastrophic ratings collapse of the CNN anchor, how such a ratings collapse has already fueled speculation that his days at CNN are numbered, and why the days for CNN itself may be numbered as well. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.